He's living life, dude. Finally, the content that we came here for. Finally. Oh, he's stretching. You stretch, Mayor Cat. You show them who's boss. Show them. He's so cute. Look at the big baby. Okay, sorry. I'm so distracted. You're blocking chat, Mayor Cat. I can't read. I wanted to do the segment on animated conservative cartoons that are driving me crazy, man. What is this? What is this?
Why is this happening? And what am I doing here? And how am I ever gonna get out of this place? What the hell was that? I can't take this anymore. My God, this whole wacky world just makes me wanna scream. Don't even try. The funny present eyes are spanking you.
What is this? What is this? So, friend of the channel, Saberspark. I love Saberspark's content. I've always loved Saberspark's content. Great guy, really cool, makes great content. Focuses on cartoons and animations and stuff like that. It is, in fact, against Twitch TOS to show CIA torture material, so this channel will be taken down by the end of today, sadly. But I figure we have one last we have one last go at it, you know, have some fun with it. Have some fun with it, right? He did a video on PragerU's content. Soft looks, thank you for 5 months. I love the caption or the title here. Hey kids, racism was cool.
Conservative cartoons. A niche and bizarre genre of animation, to say the least. Mr. Burcham, Chipchilla, the Tuttle Twins. All of them pretty bad. But none of them hold a candle to the worst one of all. Leo and Leila. A show that tried to excuse slavery since everyone was doing it. Don't blame me, I'm just, doing what was cool at the time.
How can you come here to the 15th century and judge me by your standards from the 21st century? For those in the future to look back and do this is, well, estúpido.
Captain!
Yeah?
Now, to be fair, saying Leo and Leila is the worst conservative cartoon is
JW, thank you for the 7 months.
akin to saying that the Bronze Bull is the worst torture device in history. That may be true, but it's still torture nonetheless. I mean, would you rather crawl into a metal bowl with a fire lit underneath it and burn to death? Or would you rather watch 63 episodes of one of the most boring cartoons ever made? Yeah, put me in the bowl. Now, I heard about this series years ago, but only recently got around to watching it on my Twitch. Needless to say.
Also, I have to say, I love the idea of like, how could you judge me by your standards? Yes, the slaves that I owned at the time were saying they didn't want to be slaves and they wanted to be free. Yes, I wouldn't want to be a slave, and that's very intuitive. But did you consider that all the cool kids were doing it?
I did not expect much. The series is about Leo and Leila, a brother and sister who use their time-traveling phone app to visit historical figures in order to get the real story. The first episode I watched? Oh yeah, Christopher Columbus. That was a mistake. My head is spinning. Why die on this hill? Most of us know Columbus as a controversial historical figure. Yes, he was once remembered, but through rose-tinted glasses. We know better now of his actual story, and it's not worth celebrating. The man was unequivocally a monster. There are multiple accounts from his contemporaries, even from his own crew, where they are like, this guy is completely unhinged. Like, if I was Layla, I'd keep my mouth shut, because the last time a woman spoke out against the Columbus family, they cut her tongue out and paraded her around town naked in the streets to be ridiculed. But in Leo and Leila, Columbus is like, hey, bro, you
Dude, frog, something, frog bait, the YouTuber. They have a really good TikTok that I was recommended. Frog bait. Funky frog bait. There we go. Oh, the mayor cat. Oh, the mayor cat. Are you back for more lap time? Oh, yes. Yes. Oh, it's a good mayor cat. But they have this really good short. Let me try and find it. Where is it? Mayor cat, you're stepping on my keyboard. Mayor cat, you're Mayor cat. You're disrupting the stream. Chat, stop encouraging him. Stop. This one.
I mean, seriously, his legacy
Learning about any male historical figure.
has impacted millions of people.
Oh my god, this guy sounds amazing.
Yeah, he also cheated on his wife.
Oh!
Yeah. He cheated on her like a lot. Like the moment she was out of sight, he was inside whatever woman he could get his hands on.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, whenever his wife would try to write something, he would set it on fire in front of her and say, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. And then he'd like lock her in the attic because he had this theory that the female brain is only good for cooking and cleaning.
Why? Why?
Yeah, he eventually divorced her and abandoned his 7 children, and she was so sad about it, she threw herself in front of a train. But you know, he was just a product of his time. I mean,
It's like just a perfect YouTube short. Just perfect. Just absolute Scott Fitzgerald. Like literally like 90% of famous men in history. Anyways, back to the video.
You can't judge me. I was just doing what was popular at the time. And when Leo and Layla are like, well, slavery is illegal now, Columbus is like, oh, what a relief. As I'm sure below deck lie the corpses of enslaved natives. You see, you all have to understand, Columbus was a victim of circumstance. He who has not cut off the hands of natives, watched them bleed.
I'm sorry, but the oh, thank God, I'm so glad slavery isn't happening anymore. It's giving like that one tweet that's like reading Mein Kampf, but shaking my head the entire time so people know I disagree.
Out and then paraded their corpse around town, tossed the first stone. Hey, who threw that at me? When it all comes down to it, Leo and Layla is an absolutely mind-numbing experience. Everything from the voice acting, the characters' animation, the characters' personalities, the dinky toy store type music, and the god-awful animation contributes to a melting pot of conservative mediocrity. So, what are the origins of Leo and Layla? For the record, I want to make it abundantly clear that I am here as an advocate of quality content. Left, right, secular, religious, if said program is not good or entertaining, then it's already off to a bad start. Now, speaking of bad, the culprit behind Leo and Layla is Prager University Foundation, aka PragerU, which is not an actual university despite its name. They're a conservative media and advocacy group that promotes conservative values via their articles, media, etc. One of said tendrils is PragerU Kids. Here, I'll let them explain.
But as you eat the roasted goose, your little sport insists.
Hey, Dad, did you know America is racist?
Your mind goes numb, your skin turns pale, and your heart aches with fear. Your child is being filled with lies. The babe you
Ludwig, if he was racist.
Once held dear. But in that shocking moment, a man pops into frame. Could it be George Washington, here to save your child's brain? He snatched the screen and changed the thing to something that is true. It's an app with shows for kids. They call it PragerU.
First off, this thumbnail,
So just Ludwig, huh? Shut the fuck up.
it's hilarious.
Stop.
I love it. Next, the ad's tone is almost satirical. Is America racist? Of course not, son. George Washington, you know about this topic since, you own slaves. In retrospect, maybe George Washington wasn't the best option for this commercial. Also, you can tell this was done for cheap because the guy voicing the commercial can't even afford a pop filter. He's like, Prager.
Think better, live better. Visit PragerUkids.com for free kids shows, cartoons, and books that teach classic American values.
So yeah, you can see the narrative and agenda right out the gate if it was ever in doubt. An option for kids to avoid the woke and watch good and fun content, like investing and stocks. Yes, that's an actual thing on their website. I'm sure the kids love this one. Now, Prager...
I love how just watching even the B-roll footage that they have, nothing of value was on the screen. It's like line go up, money stacking, and like people in corporations just really happy. Like
Kids has a
nothing
few
useful.
programs, but none of them are inspired or well-made. It's mostly history lessons and investment advice. I shit you not, they even have their own lame version of drunk history called TBH History. Take away the booze and replace it with horse blinders. Voila! There it is.
And in 1848, a German philosopher did just that. His name was Karl Marx, and he released a book titled The Communist Manifesto. Maybe you've heard of it, you know? A lot of people have heard of it. Some people read it. Most people don't care.
Now, their entire catalog has the production budget of a novice YouTube channel. Sure, it's free, unlike Daily Wire Plus, but it's bad nonetheless. I also still stand by that kids have zero interest in this stuff. Their parents, however, do. I understand parents who want their kids to learn and not become victims to a skibbity brain rot.
No!
But these shows
Get
are
it off
no
the
Magic
screen.
School Bus, no Time Squad, no Bill Nye, and certainly no Liberty Kids. They are all just boring trash. Now, I'm gonna do a proper deep dive about conservative cartoons and entertainment in the future. But for now, let's talk about the show this video is specifically about, Leo and Leila. Oh, I haven't brought up who made it? Well, that's because I can't find out. For some reason, they don't want to list themselves in the credits. I wonder why. Well, at least we can deduce the purpose of Leo and Leila.
Travel back in time with Leo and Leila's history adventures and meet influential people who proudly made America the great nation it is today.
You are amazing, Mr. Reagan. You saved everyone's lives and made them better at the same time.
Well, thank you, Leo.
Yep. Let's talk about a few of the episodes of Leo and Leila. According to this playlist on YouTube for Prager Kids, there are 63 episodes of the show. This includes episodes about Abraham Lincoln, Paul Revere, and Neil Armstrong, to name a few. There are also episodes about biblical characters, which feels a little misleading. We got Ruth, Moses, King David, Jacob, and Abraham of the Old Testament. Listen, Bible stories are all well and good. VeggieTales took great care of me on that front as a kid. But it feels kind of off here to be like, let's talk about Abraham Lincoln, a very well-documented man on multiple accounts. Okay, now let's talk about Abraham from the Bible as just as objectively. The majority of Bible stories are more like parables, not verified facts. Now, is there history in the Bible? Yes, but the court is still out on Moses, unless you're talking about the monkey version of him. No! Hey, it's been a while since we've done that. Nostalgia critic, I see you. You're talking about my show. How dare you? I'm coming for you next, sir. YouTube beef? Let's do it. Doug, DM me. So, how do these episodes go down? Well, they usually start off with Leo and Layla complaining or talking about a subject
God.
that Leo
You know, the worst thing to come to animation was like these fucking model rigs that move the way that they do. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate it so much with every fiber of my being. The like, ugh.
leads into the necessity of a history lesson through Layla's magical
Vector flash
time-traveling phone
animation,
app.
corporate animation.
Now,
Yeah.
they don't explain anything about their ability to time travel. It's just there. Stop asking perfectly reasonable questions. Let's get going. I also want to highlight how insufferable Leo and Layla are. First off, they're not characters. They're props. Also, they somehow have like super specific knowledge about historical figures and events, or have no clue whatsoever.
You're fighting Hitler? I know he's one of history's biggest bad guys, but what did he...
Oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm calling Hitler like one of history's biggest bad guys. He was such a meanie. It's like crazy.
do again?
Layla, how the sweet fuck do you not know about Hitler? She's like, OMG, Winston Churchill, it's him. But like, Winston, who's this Hitler guy? What did he do wrong?
And Germany decides again to go to war, and again it chooses as its enemy the world. And this time they have that guy, Schrankly, Crankly, that guy. And
Also, fuck this banner at the bottom of these videos. It's super annoying. So Leo and Layla inexplicably can time travel. But what's worse is how unfazed these historical figures are when the kids arrive. They act more like LARPers pretending to be historical figures, if anything.
What he meant to say, kids, is that we ain't never heard of no fancy door code, 'cause in our time, we got to rely on wood locks and such. God damn it, you people are fucking insane!
So I've picked a handful of episodes.
You know, like, I feel like the PragerU content, obviously everybody in here knows that it's like bottom of the barrel garbage. But I think the worst part is that it doesn't even... I'm really sad that cartoons are expected to be bottom of the barrel garbage. I'm really sad that when anyone tries to criticize, or if any of us try and criticize cartoons for being like bad, someone's like, well, it's for kids. Like, what do you expect? It's like, when do we start treating kids with so little respect that they can't even get media that's even mildly good? Like, kids can watch narratives. They can watch good, compelling stories. You don't have to give them drivel and garbage, dude. So many kids shows from the 90s that still hold up, like Hey Arnold. Yeah, I mean, Hey Arnold was good. Avatar, obviously, we watched it together, was good. SpongeBob, the very beginning of SpongeBob was very good. Does anyone remember Courage the Cowardly Dog? That was good. That was good. Tom and Jerry will never be topped. I don't care. X-Men. I didn't really watch X-Men, or like, I didn't watch Teen Titans, but I heard Teen Titans was really good. I liked Steven Universe. Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon's actually one of the few popular animes I've never seen. Ed and Eddie was good. Like, they're characters with struggles, with plots. They're not just like one-dimensional characters that go around being like, do you know what time it is? Wow. It's like, what the fuck am I watching, dude? Like, Jesus Christ.
To talk about in particular.
Like, I understand the kids that are like in Teletubbies phase, where like they're like 3 or 4 and they're watching things like Dora the Explorer, because that's for like, you're barely existing. This is clearly trying to tackle issues larger than Dora the Explorer, which means that the kid age range is probably closer to like 7 or 8, which means that the kid could probably be watching something like Avatar, or be watching something like Hey Arnold or whatever, right? If you're going to talk about history and issues or whatever, you can try a little harder than this.
Let's start off with Alexander Hamilton.
I feel like most of the adults that say stuff like that haven't read a compelling narrative since they were a kid in a grade school. Yeah. Yeah. But Avatar's woke, it has minorities. Oh shit, you're right. Fuck. Get it off the air.
Alexander Hamilton. Yeah, you know the thing. This one is an example of playing it safe. The episode starts off with Leo joining a history club and wanting to campaign for a leadership position. But he feels like he might be just a bit too young for the position. Enter Hamilton.
Oh, Magic School Bus was quite fun and educational. I remember when I was very young, maybe like 5 or 6 or something, I was watching, oh man, what was it called? Come on, you guys got it. Cartoon. Cyber Chase. That and oh, it's coming back to me. Imaginary House is Kids, something blue. And then the one with the chalk zone. Oh my god, it's all coming back to me. It's like this was made for, I feel like maybe I'm wrong, but this was the target audience is like 6-year-olds or something, maybe. It doesn't mean it has to be garbage. It doesn't mean it has to be drivel. Are you kidding me? Just because it's for 6-year-olds, it doesn't mean we get to give them garbage. Don't you want to set them up for stuff that's actually worthwhile, even a little, that has good narratives, cool characters? You guys remember Chalk Zone? Oh my god. I don't even remember what it sounds like. You couldn't. I don't remember this at all. Core memory. Anime ass intro. Wow. Holy shit. Takes me back, man. Jesus. I don't remember him being such a fucking nerd. I don't remember shit about this show, by the way. I don't remember anything about this show. But like, anyways, how about we start kids on shit that isn't complete garbage, shit that isn't complete dog shit? So that their standards of media can be good.
The first Secretary of Treasury of the United States. Now, relative to the other founding fathers of the time, Hamilton was pretty progressive and accomplished quite a lot in a very short amount of time. Hence why Leo is getting lectured by him. At the end, Leo was like, "You're right, Mr. Hamilton. I'll be just like you." Though it'd be funny if Leo was like, "You know, except for like getting shot, I won't die like you. Goodbye." Hamilton's like, "Wait, what?" Shot? What are you talking about? You know, that is a weird part of the time-traveling aspect of the series. What about the historical continuity? Does the
Monkey skeleton thing for the 6 months.
time traveling create a butterfly effect? The historical figures, once again, act like this stuff is normal. Oh, hello, Leo and Leila. You just missed the talking dog and his son just a few minutes ago. All in all, the Hamilton episode is a good example of a harmless episode, since Hamilton himself, though a very complicated and fallible man, is not an outright monster. I wonder if they'll keep that trend going. Next, there's Thomas Edison. Okay, it could be worse. You think they'll address the elephant in the room? You know, actually, I read about this. Apparently, that was false. I don't know. I need to look more into it. Maybe the episode will let me know. It doesn't.
Fucking edit.
So Leo in this episode wants to, like, invent a phone charging shoe or something like that. I don't know. It's stupid. So I guess he and Layla go to Edison for help. You know, they're lucky that Edison did not steal their idea. He probably saw it and was like, "Ooh, time traveling. Has it been patented yet? I can do that for you." Now, this episode is mostly a rose-tinted rundown of Edison and his contributions with inventing the light bulb, though
You mean stealing?
hey, credit where credit is due. The episode does state that Edison did not outright invent the light bulb, but he did help it to go mainstream. Also, I like how Leo won the contest with his shoe. I gotta say, that trophy, I want that trophy.
Great
Good
job.
It's like a, some asset from a program, just, Microsoft painted over. Boom.
Congratulations, you won.
Then there's the episode about the peace treaty between Egypt and Israel. I'm sorry. I don't care how you spin this episode. No kid is going to care about this. Most adults don't even care about this. It makes me think about that old Rage comic with, I'm Justin Bieber. And they're like, who cares? Well, hello there. Oh my God! Menahem between the Prime Minister of Israel from 1977 to 1983. He's here? Oh my God! Then there's an episode about John Adams and Thomas Jefferson, which is the best episode there is. Why? Because there's actual friction in this episode. And this one, Leo and Layla get into a fight and accidentally get transported to July 4th, 1811. Folks, I'm just gonna say it. Probably not the best outcome that your phone can just randomly time travel an accident. Leo, get off my phone! Stop! Oh! Where?
Layla, my phone died. What do you mean your phone died? My phone died. What do you mean your phone died?
Are we? When are we? Oh, this is worse than that one time during December 7th, 1941. I'm going to hell. In this episode, Jefferson and Adams are acting like complete divas, which, hey, is 100% historically accurate. AKA, finally, something good in the episode to work with.
Adams?
Jefferson?
You're boring everybody. Quit boring everyone!
So for those who don't know, Adams and Jefferson were good friends prior to them running against each other during the election of 1800. They both talked.
God, why did they make him look so ugly? Why did they make them look so nasty? Look
prior
at
to them running against each other during
it's so nasty.
the election of 1800. They both talked shit about each other, as a politician does, and were at odds for some time after the election. John Adams even skipped out on Jefferson's inaugural speech because he was just so pissed off about his loss. The two eventually reconciled via letters. So the idea of leveraging that into Leo and Layla having a fight is not a bad idea. It's just funny as all because when John Adams died, his last words were, "Thomas Jefferson survives." Like, I can only imagine the same for Leo, being like, Layla survives. Bleh. Only that Layla died a few hours beforehand. Oh, history, you wildin' out. And then we got the most egregious episode of all, Christopher Columbus. I don't
even know why we bother with Christopher Columbus anymore. I feel like we need to just, cut our losses. Stop trying to defend the guy, dude. It's over. The guy was fucking weird and sick. Stop, dude. It's not we don't need to defend him.
His likes on this episode. It starts off super awkward, with Leo and Layla feeling weird about their feelings about Columbus Day. Once more, what 8-year-old child would be Googling about Columbus?
The side against Columbus says he was a really mean guy who spread slavery, disease, and violence to people who would have been better off if he'd never gone to the New World. Ouch.
Especially because it conflicts with his moral fiber. That doesn't make sense. Kids are playing video games. They're hanging out. They're not Googling about Columbus. This is stupid. So Leo and Layla go to the source and talk to Columbus himself. Just a really sweet.
Americans latched onto him back when they were discriminated against.
But we love Italians now. We love them. We don't need to keep him anymore.
Guy,
yeah, they need better hero. You guys have Tony Soprano now. You don't need to keep Christopher Columbus in your repertoire.
To know him, folks. You just gotta know him. I like how Columbus, when he first sees Leo and Layla, was like, who let the slaves out from the lower decks? I'm not joking. He even calls them Indians. This guy is just that stupid and terrifying.
Nothing phases me. What, you from the future?
How'd you guess?
Either that or Indians? I've kinda had a hard time telling who's what lately.
And so it begins. Columbus apologist rant number 1. He was a go-getter. He studied so much. He was courageous and explored so he can bring back spices to Europe, but only because he really wanted to explore.
I'm now sailing back to Spain to show off all kinds of amazing things I found and tell of the wonders of the lands I've seen.
What kind of amazing things, Columbus? You said you would bring gold. You didn't, and then you had to find something else to make up for it.
Bringing spices back.
What could
They don't use them.
Stop Dragon Army. It's a sore spot for them. Thank you for 34 months.
that be? What possibly could you have brought instead? What are those terrible cries of pain from below deck? Hey, don't you worry about that. Leo's about to grill Columbus.
Okay, now that we have the backstory, we've got some questions. There are a lot of people in our time upset about how you acted once you found all these amazing things in these new lands.
Ah, that's right. You said I'm controversial.
Again, what a weird hill to die on, to try and rationalize the devastation of Columbus. There's even a moment where he's like, oh, some of these natives were peaceful and smart. But Columbus is on record where he said, quote, they do not bear arms and do not know them. For I showed them a sword that took it by the edge and cut themselves out of ignorance. They have no iron. Their spears are made of cane. They would make fine servants. With 50 men, we could subjugate them all and make them do whatever we want. End quote. Yeah, you know, just folks, just a swell and normal person. At this time in the episode, Columbus flips the script with the accusations and goes on the attack, claiming that the natives were the savages and weren't a pillar of morality.
Hey, all the things that are bad in the world I come from, jealousy, lying, murder, war, it all exists in the land I just found too. But in Europe, we draw the line at things like eating people and human sacrifice.
Oh my God. Listen, I'm just like any other red-blooded European. You know, we draw the line at cannibalism, but the warring, enslaving, pillaging, raping, murdering, and disease spreading, that was just the way things were at the time. And I was a normal person.
Some things are clearly bad, no matter when they happen. But for other things...
But slavery? Wow. That one's kind of a situational one. That one... Sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's not okay.
Before you judge, you must ask yourself, what did the culture and society of the time treat as no big deal?
It's just so funny how defensive Columbus gets. He's like, do you think you're better than me? Just because I took advantage of natives, cut off their hands, stripped them down, and made them freeze to death during a 10-week voyage across the Atlantic? Get off your high horse, Leo and Leila. Also, it's funny to hear Columbus use God and missionary work to excuse himself, and then be like, it's better to be a slave than murdered. Buddy, you did both!
Being taken as a slave is better
To be fair,
than
we
being
still
killed,
struggle
no?
condemning
I don't
genocide
see the
today,
problem.
too.
Then Leo and Layla are like, slavery.
Yeah, to be fair, we're still struggling to condemn genocide today. You're not wrong. Fucking true, dude. But guess what? If a time traveler came back to today into any one of our apartments, first we would be like, dude, what the fuck are you doing in my apartment? Second, we'd be like, can you take me with me? And then after that, we'd be like, no. I mean, yeah, our government officials are pro-genocide, but I'm not. No, that shit's fucked up. No. Whereas Christopher Columbus would be like, well, everyone else said it was cool, so I'm kind of down for it.
Is over during our times. And Columbus is like, oh, thank God. I totally wish I could have participated, but you gotta understand. I wanted to make money and hurt people. And then he gets indignant that he's being judged.
But You said you're from 500 years in the future? How can you come here to the 15th century and judge me by your standards from the 21st century?
Again, it's just so funny to hear Columbus bring up being a Christian as a shield and how it conflicts with his beliefs. I could have sworn there was like a story in the Bible about like this Jewish people being enslaved by Egyptians and how that was wrong. What was that story? I can't remember. Nostalgia Critic covered it recently. Ask him. At the end, Columbus is like, don't judge me. Judge the cultural status quo of the time I existed in. And you know what? Sure, yeah, you're still a bad dude. You participated in slavery and genocide, and even your colleagues from your time thought you were a monster and a bad businessman on top of that, too. You even got arrested for tax evasion, got arrested by the royalty of Spain, and for some reason, they were like, oh, you know what? Get out of here, you scamp. Go off on another expedition. What's the worst that can happen?
You're a courageous explorer, and you've given me a lot to think about. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, kids. Now, let me lock you up and show you to the King and Queen of Spain.
So yeah, PragerU, trying to rationalize slavery, conquest, murder, it's not a good look. Leo and Layla are obviously pro-American propaganda. But even this is a hard sell. Columbus is just that abhorrent. Now, I understand the argument of social norms during periods of history. Thankfully, times have changed, and mostly for the better, too. But to only highlight the good, to dismiss the bad, which we can learn from, and then to get defensive of social norms from the time? It's a mask-off moment done in bad faith and just unbelievably ignorant. It makes one wonder if it can get any worse than Columbus. Yeah, right? Good luck with that. Good luck topping that one. I can't think of another person who is more worshipped by Prager. Oh no.
I miss voting for that man.
Well, here we go. This episode starts off with Leo just destroying a neighbor's property.
We watched this episode on stream. It's as bad as you think it is. Dude, like, imagine having a time traveling phone and not using it to go back in time and kill Reagan.
There's no explanation why. He just destroys it. I'm not kidding. He's like, I'm doing it because Reagan tore down the Berlin Wall. I'm just like him. Then comes a wave of so much dick riding that you would think that Richard Nixon's wife was in office. We then time travel to 1889. An ancient time. And Leo is at the Berlin Wall, and Layla, like, gets teleported somewhere else. She's, like, walking around like a South Park character. I don't get it. Leo then talks to Reagan and highlights all of his international and domestic policies. Or not all of them, just the, quote-unquote good ones. Anti-communism, Reaganomics, and ending the Cold War, to name a few. Hey, what about Reagan discontinuing federal funding to mental hospitals? Not gonna mention that? What about getting involved in...
No, Denims, if you can time travel and you don't go back in time to get slobbed on by Nancy Reagan, you're doing it wrong, and then you kill Reagan? Wait a minute. Good point.
Central American politics and going around the back of Congress. No? Not gonna mention the high treason? Oh, okay.
But the sails were uncovered by the press. Reagan and North began to stress. Cause what they did was technically high treason. But it was totally justified.
PragerU has a narrative here. And it's not to properly educate people about history. It is to massage the ego of American patriotism. They lie by omission. That is a disservice to the truth. Folks, we can have conversations about the accomplishments of historical figures, but we can also acknowledge that not everybody was a saint. But that can only go so far. Columbus? Absolute buffoonery. Pick a new character. There was an episode of King of the Hill that was able to approach this in a nuanced way. And it was How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Alamo. In this episode, Bobby gets a new Texas history book, but it barely mentions the Alamo. Hank is outraged, as the Texas patriot that he is, and gets the chance to showcase an Alamo play with another concerned parent. who ends up bastardizing the play with historical revisionism. At the end, even though Hank wanted to stop the play, he allowed it because these folks had the right to say what they wanted to. That is their constitutional right. He did, however, set the stage. This is how you do it. You can admire the actions of individuals even though they are a product of their time. You can also acknowledge their courage and bravery, but also bring up the less than savory things they did. Anything else would be a disservice to the truth. Leo and Layla do not care about the truth. They only care about making America look good.
We're called the United States for a reason, and our citizens need to always remember that being an American is special and should be a source of pride and patriotism.
I think people in our time need to take your advice.
So, what are my overall thoughts
I'm
about
sorry.
Leo and Layla?
And what am I supposed to be proud of exactly? What? That you can go bankrupt if you get cancer in the US? That you can go homeless if you have too many medical emergencies or financial emergencies in a row? What am I supposed to be proud of? That we have some of the highest rates of child obesity because we refuse to educate people on like proper nutrition and hold corporations accountable. But Denims, you get to choose which doctor you can't afford. Oh, just don't get cancer. Duh. Sorry, I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. I'm dumb. I'm such a... Who could forget the best part? Modern slavery in prison. You can become homeless, be imprisoned for being homeless, and then work for pennies at a prison. That's the best part. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, or how about the #1 mass shootings? #1 prison population. Like, we got a lot going for us, to be honest. America #1. America #1. No, what a great country, dude. What a fucking great country. Oh, how about the fact that we're like single-handedly funding a genocide in Israel, in Gaza? We're just giving Israel money just to fund a genocide. Yeah. Woo, yeah. Woo. Love it.
Well, let's break it down. I suppose we'll start with the most obvious point of contention. It's crappy animation. I mean, it's hard to even call it animation, since it's more like cardboard cutouts being tweened across the screen. You would think, with the advantage of going back in time with historical figures, the showrunners would take advantage of numerous sets and scenes for our characters. But no! It's usually Leo and Layla standing in one place, asking questions and going, "Golly gee willikers, I didn't know that," as their arms flail around.
How can a king break the law? I thought kings made the laws.
Great question, young man.
Design-wise, I've seen worse. Leo and Layla being pink and blue kind of clashes with the historical figures, but, whatever. But the movement of their body, their mouths, the composition of the scenes, it's all so stale and idle. Do something. I mean, sure, you get some flashbacks that show the historical figure of that episode doing said thing, but even those moments are just as static and boring. It is wild to me that one can find original, independently driven animated shorts on YouTube for free that are a million times more dynamic and satisfying than this Leo and Layla schlock.
What should we name him?
Maybe something like, Maggot?
Whoa.
Damn. That animation looked so good.
Whoa. Ronald Reagan, the actor?
Dude, how is South Park animated better than this? Jesus!
President?
Yeah, a really good one, too.
What about the voice acting?
Nice to meet you, Leo. I'm here in Berlin to stop the communists and end the Cold War.
That's it? That's your Ronald Reagan impersonation? Bro, I can do better than that. Tear down this wall. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe, hey, I suck after all. But come on! Leo and Layla don't fare any better. Just stiff performances across the board. The deliveries come across as very insincere, brainless, and condescending. Wow, that's Ronald Reagan? I sure love Ronald Reagan. He was the president. Wow, jelly beans.
I brought jelly beans.
Leo, thank you. That's my favorite snack.
But unsurprisingly, it's the writing.
Your next favorite snack's about to be fucking knuckle sandwiches on your grave. Oh, I hate that sack of shit. Sorry. Let me calm down. My hatred for Ronald Reagan is pretty powerful, okay? Looks like the models that they show in HR, health, and safety videos. Yes, exactly, Blinks. Exactly.
That's the main culprit. The main characters, the historical characters, just everything about this show is boring. Like I said, Leo and Layla are more like props than anything, which is a damn shame because history has a lot of potential as a plot device. I love history. There are so many incredible and fascinating things to learn about the past of humanity. Some good, mostly bad, but all worth remembering. And in the hopes that we are improving as a species. There was a time where public executions were an event you took the family to. Nowadays,
It was a good time in America.
we take them to go see Despicable Me 4. Okay, some things have not changed. Jokes aside, to cherry pick only the praiseworthy accomplishments from historical figures and to view history through rose-tinted glasses is a...
At least Reagan gave us a nice gender-neutral public bathroom when he died. You fucking get it, dude. You get it. Yeah, my man.
massive disservice to history as a whole. I remember being a little kid in the 6th grade and reading a book about Colonel Custer and his valiant last stand. How he went down swinging with his men bravely against the overwhelming forces of the savage Indians. Wow, I thought at the time. What a hero! Then I discovered the truth later on in life. Much like Columbus, this guy too was a monster who slaughtered unarmed women and children. He was an instrument of destruction and violated multiple treaties against native tribes. And at the end, his hubris would be his
Thank you for
downfall
the 43 months.
as he got spanked by the Native Americans. Now, I bring this up for two main reasons. Number one, guess how old this guy was? Go on, look at him, take a guess. You're wrong. He was 36. Oof. Man, he looked rough for 36. I wonder why. Number two, history painted this man as a glorified hero, and I fell for it as a kid. In reality, he was a pompous, egotistical man who murdered innocent people.
Camera, thank you so much for the prime.
And that is where
Mayor
Leo and
Cat, what is
Layla
wrong?
strike out.
What is
It lies through omission and really only shares the positive impacts of said historical figures. And even then, that's up for debate. There are a lot of mask-off moments in the show. Sure, Columbus was a murderous slave owner who often betrayed his own men. But he kind of discovered America? So who cares? America!
It's the American flag! It's the American flag!
In my opinion,
The thing that I don't understand about like gung-ho Americans, the thing that I don't understand is like, dude, if you love this country so much, why don't you want to make it better? Why are you insistent that it's like, that's it, we did it, we got it, it's perfect, nothing, we don't need to fix that, we don't need to change it, we're done. Like, what type of, what? That'd be like you love the house that you live in. You've lived in it since you were a kid, and your parents died or whatever, and you got to keep the house or whatever. And then you just let it deteriorate. Like a faucet breaks and you're like, we don't need to fix this. It's good. It's just the way that it was. This is how it's supposed to be since I got it. It's like, what? No, fix the sink, man. It doesn't work. No, I don't know. We're good. It's good. Or like the paint starts chipping off the wall and we're like, hey, maybe we should put a new coat of paint. No, it's perfect. It's good. We don't need to change it. It's like, what? If you love this house so much and you don't want to move and this is like your childhood home and you love it, why not improve it and make it better and maintain it? You're the one who has to live here. What's wrong? I don't understand. Why the blind love for your country with no reflection ever? For what purpose does it serve? It's so bizarre to me. That's just how my father works, TBA. Okay, but there's a difference between doing it because you're too lazy or broke to fix it, or not doing it because it's like we shouldn't change things around here. Resident Evil buildings. It's just bizarre to me. I just don't understand. I just don't understand. I don't understand how trying to make your country better makes you unpatriotic. Trying to say, hey, maybe people shouldn't go bankrupt if they get illness. Maybe kids should learn about proper nutrition in schools, and we should hold corporations accountable for better portion sizing and better nutrients in the food that we eat. Why is that communistic? What about that is communistic? Why do I have to hate my country for that to be true? I don't understand. I don't get it.
You got to take the good with the bad. Have some shame with your pride. George Washington could have become the de facto king of America and ruled until the end of his days. But he stepped down. Only one president in American history has ever had more than 2 terms. And that was because we were in the middle of World War II. Washington set a precedent that is still observed to this very day. And it prevents a lone person from ever becoming the lifelong leader of the United States. However, George was also a slave owner, and we cannot dismiss that fact. By the way, and this is not sponsored, I highly recommend Washington: A Life by Ron Chernow for a full-on biography of George's life. It is exceptionally good, and it shows how complicated and conflicted a person like George was. But I digress. I don't want to hear excuses for Columbus or omissions for other historical figures. PragerU has some nerve to be in the camp of, they're erasing our history, but then feel Leo and Layla that ironically erases history. I wish they'd delete their phone app instead.
I can't believe you forgot the part where socialism is when the government does stuff. The more the government does stuff, the more socialist it is, and the most amount of government's communism. Sorry, you're right. Yeah, my bad. We watched the interview at the beginning of the stream, yeah.
Yeah.
Should have kept my mouth shut.
Real.
In conclusion, Leo and Leila is just another miserable addition to the crappy world of conservative cartoons. Once more, I am working on a video covering this topic in the future. Shocker! It'll come out during the elections in 2024. But as someone who grew up in a Christian and conservative household, I've had my fair share of being in a targeted demographic. And in my opinion, both audiences, which often overlap, tend to get the bottom of the barrel results. Why? Because for a lot of parents, they don't care about quality. They don't see these shows through the eyes of being a child. Instead, they're easily swayed, scared, and or conned into buying these shows and subscription services because they are in line with my values and beliefs. Sure, that's fine. Do that if you want. Vote with your wallet. That is your choice to make. But look me in the eyes and honestly tell me that these shows are actually good, based on the merit of entertainment, engagement, laughter, inspiration, quality, design, sincerity. Will they actually endure for years to come? Or were they just a flash in the pan to convince you to buy a subscription service that makes you think that you're making a difference? Personally, kids nowadays barely even watch cartoons anymore and are more obsessed with YouTube, TikTok, gaming, and streaming. Even good shows are struggling, let alone garbage like Leo and Leila. Ironically, no one will even remember this cartoon, even if you have a time-traveling phone app. But if you want to at least make a statement, make it good. Make it entertaining.
And I feel like this is the constant problem, by the way, with conservative media. They don't care about trying to make it good. They just care about spreading as much garbage propaganda as possible. And it's just sad. It's like, dude, you think kids are going to watch this garbage? They're not going to watch this. TikTok is 100 times more fun and interesting. They're not watching this garbage. If you want them to watch it and enjoy it, You gotta make it fucking good first, dude. Jesus. There's a YouTube channel uploaded on YouTube called Corbyn's Revenge, an election night to remember. Highly recommend it. Not sure if UK politics interests you. I don't really cover UK politics that much, but it sounds good. Let me add it at least to the watch later. Mayor Cat, what are you doing? Stop. You need creative people for that first, though. But like, why? Does Jeremy Boring ever explain why he wears that contemporary key around his neck? I'm sure it's for a very boring cliche reason, like their wife doesn't trust him with the keys or something. Dude, Jeremy Boring, just like I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I just it should be illegal to be that guy. To be that annoying. Parents fool themselves into thinking that they're doing their part by raising the kids right. The reality is if you give your kid an iPad with this on it, they're either going to be too young to even understand anything that's happening on their screen, or they're going to think it's so boring and they're going to turn it off. Kids are hooked on a dude's head in a toilet. This ain't going to keep them entertained. Yeah. 3D printed food TikTok are much more engaging than these shows. It's just stupid. It's dumb. Boring razors, boring chocolate. Every time they come up with an anti-woke product, they miss a golden marketing opportunity. I know. I just don't.
It's a show, first and foremost. But if your prerogative is to immediately pander via propped up characters, then I doubt you'll last long. One of the best ways to shut up critics is to make a good show above all else. That is why I will forever sing to the heavens of the quality of the original VeggieTales.
I've actually never seen VeggieTales. I'm not even going to be I'm not going to lie. Isn't VeggieTales like a super Christian show?
Bob and Larry are fantastic. The biblical stories were fun. And hell, you even got a Christian message. But it wasn't being shoved down my throat. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I know atheists who love VeggieTales.
Dude, like, what about fucking Prince of Egypt? I mean, that's a Christian story. It's in the Bible, right? Amazing movie. I don't care what anyone says. That movie's a 10 out of 10 for me. Great voice acting, great pacing, great plot, great characters, great animation, except for the 3D animation. But like, to be fair, it was like 1990s. Like the 3D animation tech was not good. So I forgive them for like the 2 scenes where they had like a 3D animated object falling over. That one's acceptable for me. Amazing music, just like everything about it was amazing. And it's not even that Christian, it's just stories from the Old Testament, random bullshit. Well, if your whole thing is like, I don't want kids watching that Pokemon, I don't want them watching that stuff, there's demons in there. 666 and the devil laughs. Okay, let them watch Old Testament stuff. Let them watch Bible stories or whatever the fuck. Just, can we make good quality stuff? Just because kids are going to be the ones watching it doesn't mean it can't be good. Pokemon literally means pocket demons. Isn't it pocket monsters? Or is that like a joke? That's all. I'll just recommend the cheeseburger song from VeggieTales. The conservative uncle once put on a movie on the laptop for me, a kid to watch in the car. Kid was holding it up, couldn't even see the screen at that angle. Didn't want that to be my first experience with the movie. Uncle got mad that I was playing my Game Boy instead of watching the movie he put on. Pocket D-monsters. Demon crats.
Why? Because it was good. It did not get caught up in the weeds of pushing an overt message. It was more concerned about making something that was quality. If you build it, they will come. But if you try to shove it down their throats, they're gonna choke and watch something else. I recently watched a few episodes of an alleged Mormon ripoff of Rick and Morty called Saving Me. I'm skeptical, but the first episode was solid. It was well animated, an actual story-driven plot.
Do they have the rights for this?
And there were even a few funny jokes. Wow, right? Who would have guessed that when it comes to the entertainment industry, that people want to be, I don't know, entertained? Not boring-ass history lessons that lie through omission. Instead of Leo and Leila, watch Peabody and Sherman. At least it has a talking dog. Instead of Mr. Bertram, watch King of the Hill. There is integrity there. Instead of Chipchilla, watch Bluey. Need I say more? These are superior options beyond a shadow.
I've never watched Bluey, but from what I've heard, Bluey is like therapy for adults. That's my understanding. I haven't seen it. Big issue with the PragerU's. They got states to sign up to show their awful stuff in schools. I know, dude. Ugh.
Doubt. Conservatives are more than welcome to make their own media that demonstrates their beliefs and values. But guess what?
You have a piece missing.
And that piece is quality. So if the best you got is trying to rationalize the heinous crimes of a once celebrated but now understandably condemned historical figure, then yeah, you might want to go back to the drawing board. Or at least download a different app. Hey, maybe you can go back in time and prevent yourself from making this garbage in the first place. You will be doing the world a favor.
We can just use my new time travel app. You just tap here and away we go. But let me get the settings right before you do.
There are some episodes in Bluey that would make you tear up. I mean, I love kids' cartoons. I mean, I love cartoons in general. I love animation. Like, I don't care. I don't care what anyone says, okay? I haven't seen Inside Out 2 yet, and apparently it's going to be out on streaming services. It's going to be on, like, Disney Plus in 2 days. I think it's at the 8th. So I'll get to watch it at home with subtitles. I'm not giving money to Disney, though, because, like, why would I do that? But I do have a friend. He's, like, a pirate. And he said he could get it for me. So we should be Gucci. Selena Princess, thank you for the 18 months. So I'm very excited to watch Inside Out 2. But Inside Out 1, Luffy, yeah. You guys know him? Oh, cool. Yeah, no, he delivers. He delivers. It's great. Inside Out 1 already, I don't think Inside Out 2 is going to be good. Because how do you improve on the first movie? And the first movie, I literally watch it. And I'm like, I start crying the second. I would say like 30 minutes in, I start crying and I don't stop crying until the end of the movie. Anytime I'm having like a really bad week, so maybe like twice a year, I'm like, she's just trying to be happy all the time. She's trying her best. And then it doesn't stop. And then by the end, I feel so like, oh, free. I feel so good. Everyone loves the new one. I actually love the second one personally. Oh shit, no way. Why not reward Disney for good content? Dude, Disney is like rolling in money, okay? They don't need my $140 yearly subscription. I need my $140, okay? They don't need it, okay? Yeah, they raised the Disney Plus subscription service to $140 a year. Or was it a month? Or was it a year? Disney Plus subscription price. No, it's gotta be for a year. Disney Plus is now $13.99 a month. So yeah, oh, that's $167 a year. If you want the ad-free experience, it's $13.99 a month. For ads, it's $7.99 a month. Oh no. Oh yeah. That's what Google is telling me. I'm getting word from Google here. It says that that's how much it is. Like, they're making enough money. Okay, they don't need. You spend that on makeup. If you don't reward producers for good content, then no more good content. I think you meant then. You're okay with being a criminal? Yes, actually. Yes, I'm cool with being a criminal. Actually, being a criminal is based. Actually, as long as you are an ethical criminal. You know, you forget to scan something at self-checkout at the Walmart. I mean, I didn't see anything. Do you see anything? Because no, I didn't see anything. You steal some old lady's wallet, I don't like you. In fact, I dislike you. I don't care how much you stole. You give it back right fucking now. Now, there's different types of criminals, okay? There are ethical criminals and there are unethical criminals, all right? And it's not right. There is no ethical difference. Really? Which philosopher said that? Because surely you're not talking out your ass, right? Like you must be quoting someone. Was it? It was you. Sorry, I don't listen to the opinions of people born, the philosophical opinions of people born after the year 2000. It's a personal thing for me. I'm sorry if that's too far. I just don't do it. Sorry. Sorry about that. I think you might be a little too young for this chat, though, like actually, though. So I'm going to just help you out here. There's actually no difference between stealing from a massive corporation that literally has shrinkage. They set aside a budget for money that they are going to lose to theft and stealing from a person. There's actually no difference. There's actually no difference. Won't someone think of the billionaires? No, someone please. There's actually no difference between good things and bad things. I'm gonna jaywalk extra hard for that chatter. Oh my God, Jesus. Christ. I'm glad someone will think of the corporations, dude. I'm glad Robin Hood was actually a terrible person. The story of Robin Hood is wrong. It wasn't right for him to take that money and give it to other people, even if they needed it more. Those people should have thought about that before they were born poor. There's actually zero difference between good things and bad things. You imbecile, you fucking moron. My dad uses the same logic. I say workers should get paid more for minimum wage. So he says, why don't we just pay everyone $1,000? Yeah. When did Robin Hood get so woke? Everything's so woke nowadays. Unbelievable. Oh, gosh, dude. I just like... Must be hard, dude. It must be hard having like that much brain damage. A little bit of brain damage, I understand. Okay, I get it. Those rich people worked really hard to exploit those poor people, okay? They earned that money. Fair and square.